Hey, Jeff Ostrauss here today. I want to take a few minutes and chat with you about a little project I started back in 2015 when we took this abandoned dairy barn behind me. They've been sitting empty since the early 2000s and got the harebrained idea to convert it into a seed cleaning facility. I guess some could say we went from one form of misery to another, but I'll take you inside here in a minute and give you a tour of the equipment that we've got inside.
Alright, here's our grain receiving setup. You can see we've got a repurposed 10-inch swing out auger that feeds into a grain leg inside the tower, which goes and runs the unclean seed into that small harvester, which was a high moisture corn unit that we've converted into unclean grain holding. Put an airflow and a fan on it so we can keep the grain in condition. This leg also doubles as a transfer leg into the barn for when we're removing seed from the harvester back into the barn itself. Now once inside, you can see there's no longer any hay or straw in here. We've actually got quite a bit of equipment tucked inside of this round rafter barn. We've got a Crippen 5-screen fanning mill, an ideal length grader, as well as a Forsberg vacuum gravity table. And as we look at this Crippen fanning mill, you'll see the top sifting screen, or scalping screen, sorry. And this will remove a lot of your large pieces of debris, some straw, other foreign grain, as long as it's larger than the seed that you're trying to clean. Then that drops down onto a sifting screen underneath. And then after it moves off the sifting screen, it comes onto a secondary scalp for another cut of any large material that may have escaped the first scalping screen, as well as a set of finer sifting screens underneath. As it moves across those 5 sets of screens, you'll see here we've got broken seed fragments, any weed seeds coming off the sifting screens on the side. You'll see the green spout that's sticking out there. That is coming off the upper lifting fan. This is going to vacuum or lift off any of your straw, light, chaff material. So you'll open it up here and let a lot of that fall out. And as we move down through, you've got one more final sift exit chute, and then the bottom one here going into the beige tub is the liftings off the lower fan. Typically I'd let all the trash and the liftings fall into the floor, go out on auger system, but for the sake of this batch of seed, we were collecting everything that was coming off the cleaner. One more view here as you look at the grain moving across the final sifting screens. You can see it's nearly clean, and this will exit the cleaner and then move on to the length graders. Now from the fanning mill, we're going to move on to the length grader. And this is a 4-drum ideal length grader. So it's got the indent cylinders, which use a centrifugal force and a rotating drum to remove small broken seed fragments as well as some weed seeds if they're smaller than the grain that you're cleaning. You'll see here with some rye that I'm cleaning, we've got some small broken seed fragments as well as some of the small runty kernels that the seed cleaner, the fanning mill, wasn't able to sift off or lift off. After it passes through all 4 of the drums, the large ones having, or the top ones having the larger indents than the bottom ones, travels down through, and you'll see here a nearly clean product. The other thing this does, it polishes the grain nicely. I've got some vacuum hoses hooked up there, hooked up to a vacuum to lift more of the dust off of the grain, giving a cleaner product in the bag. Right there you can see the baby gravity box is a surge bin up above both the length grader and the seed cleaner. And that pretty much wraps up that end of it. So as we move down into the basement, you can look around here and you'll see all the full totes as well as the conveyor underneath what is the length grader and the gravity table. And still got the tie stalls in there, but those will be removed shortly. So as we watch, I'll be filling jumbo sacks here, and I've sped this up for time's sake because it really isn't that exciting in real time. So you can see I got my scale sitting on the floor with a ramp, loading up the pallet, the slip sheet, zero out once the bag is laying on there, and then the 4 springs with hooks is just a way to suspend the bag to keep it square so I get a nice even fill. I roll the top back and hit the slide on the overhead bin up top holding the clean grain and begin to let it fill as I square up all 4 corners because nobody likes a rounded bottom jumbo sack that rolls off the pallet the first time you take it around the corner. So as I kind of fill it up here, square out the corners, top it off, unhook it so I can see what my actual weight is, drive it back up on, and top it off and get it within a pound or two of its legal weight. Once off the scale, set it down, and I get to pull the duffel top up, wrap that up in a nice tight wad, and then wrap the strings around, tie it off. That way you get a nice clean closed top on it. And then we park that off and for shipping. Now, if jumbo sacks aren't your cup of tea, I still can do 50-pound bags. So here we are looking at my bag printer, my bag filler, as well as the sewing machine. I'll give you a little more detail on this as we go through, but you can see here, not the most crude, but also not the most advanced also. All right, so here you're going to have a look at the exciting process of filling and stacking bags here just once more. The automatic bag filler is electric over air, and that thing is within 0.2 of a pound accuracy, bag after bag, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of getting it filled and helps speed the process up. And you'll see here, this is my ultra high-tech wireless printer. The only cord going to it is a power cord. Yes, that is a block print style. A lot of people laugh at it, but it's so simple, it's awesome. Here's a look at the automatic feeder and the sewing machine in action. And for those of you that are kind of curious, I'm going to slow this one down so you can see it in greater detail as it's stitching the bag shut. So there you have it. The process continues. Bag after bag, pallet after pallet. This might seem like one of the most miserable jobs in the world, but actually I kind of enjoy it. Call me a sick individual. I don't really care. It's a good way to stay in shape. Gives you a greater appreciation of how seed gets in the bag, what goes into producing it, and makes you feel for either the people or the robots that fill those bags and stack them on a pallet. So, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned a little bit of something on what it actually looks like for cleaning and conditioning seed. And thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one.